Hello, everybody. It is I, the Great Clement, and I feel like you guys haven't heard our voices in quite a while. Me and my co-host.
What do you want?
We haven't heard from you in a while.
That sounds like a you problem. I don't know why I said that.
Wow. Take that, audience.
I wasn't trying. I was trying to mix up the greeting. That's all. I promise I love I love your audience. I love everyone.
Welcome, folks. It's been a long while since our last podcast. This year, I don't know if you've noticed. I don't know if it's been very apparent. This year's been kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And that has extended to the content creation side for me as well. I've been having a hard, slow time getting things like the Xbox videos out. And I do apologize for that. I do want to improve and get better at this. I hope starting in August I can get back to the schedule I used to do. I would like to do more C-squareds going forward.
But to be fair, we did say that this year was going to be a little more hectic compared to previous years. So...
Our last episode, we announced we got engaged.
Yeah.
I knew 2025 was going to be busy. I knew 2025 was going to be like, ugh. I just didn't think Donald would show up.
No. I'm like so caffeine brain right now. I went to the cafe before this recording and I got myself a Hong Kong milk tea. Ooh. And it's got a good bit of caffeine in it. It was really good. But for a second I was like, wait, I thought you meant Donald Duck. No. You meant the other guy. I'm sorry. My bad.
You know, Ronald McDonald. That guy.
Ronald McDonald.
And I don't think I want to go over world events and the fall of the American Empire. No. That's kind of depressing.
No.
So we're just going to lighten the mood and we're going to talk about some cheery, optimistic, great things that we have absolutely loved this week. Because we've seen a lot of pretty good media, pretty good stuff, I think.
Yeah. I think, like, in between, like, the last episode of C-Squared and this episode, I've been exposed to a lot of good media, like, in terms of, like, TV shows, movies, music. As of this recording, Tyler, the Creator, is dropping, like, a new album tomorrow, which he announced on Friday, so everyone's, like, kind of freaking out. And I'm excited for that.
How many songs is that, typically?
I'm not sure. His last album had, like, around 11 to 12, maybe 13.
Okay.
Anyone who's listened to C-Squared for a long time will know of my evolving music taste, because I believe when we started this podcast, or, at least for the last several years on social media, I've been like, no, I don't really listen to rap too much, but in the last year or two, I've really gotten into rap music, so that's been nice. Actually, I went to see Kendrick Lamar in April, and that was a really fun time. So
yeah.
It was so good. He was amazing, and SZA was also there too. So like Kendrick would perform a few songs, and then SZA would come out and do her thing, and singing Not Like Us with like thousands of other people in a stadium is like amazing, heavenly experience. 10 out of 10.
Somewhere Drake is crying a single tear right now.
Yes. I saw this really funny video on Blue Sky where a couple of Drake fans actually stood outside the Rogers Center. I'm sorry, the Rogers Center, the Sky Dome. If I'm moving to Canada, I have to get the terms right. A couple of Drake fans were standing outside the Sky Dome, and they were like, "Boo! We hate Kendrick." Drake was right in the feud, and everyone's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Look, sometimes Canada has a lot of bad eggs that we have to support, and I'm sorry. I know a lot of us don't want to claim Justin Bieber, but we have to.
Just like how, like, Goldberg had his retirement match in Atlanta, and I don't claim him.
God.
But we'll get to wrestling. We'll get to wrestling.
We'll get to that when we get to that.
But let's just say I'm like, huh?
No one wants Goldberg today in 2025. They want Labubus.
Yes, they do. When you said earlier that, like, we need lighthearted things, depending on how you look at Labubus, might be kind of more on the bad side than the good side.
Oh, do tell, do tell.
Labubus are these little cute plushy keychains. I believe they started like at around 2015 or 2016, but they only got really popular in the last year because an artist from Blackpink, a K-pop band, started wearing Labubus on her purse, so everyone wanted to get them.
Okay.
But they are plushies, they are rabbit-shaped, they have like pointed teeth, and things have been kind of wild with like getting them. It kind of reminds me of like the Cabbage Patch craze of like the 80s and Tickle Me Elmo in the mid 90s, but like with the rapid increase of like the social media algorithm kind of pushing it in your face, it's actually really like intense.
Yeah.
But you've held my Labubu.
I have held your Labubu.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like we were going to get mugged whenever time we walked around with it.
No, that's why I brought up the fake one. Or if I
was
did
that
bring
the
out my
fake
real
one in the backpack?
Yeah, so like the other I said Labubus were kind of like on the dark side of things because they are so popular. People have been going into like extreme measures to get Labubus, as in like they will literally, no joke, dead ass, will crash into your car, like they'll break into it and steal Labubus, and I'm like, come on, y'all, you're going a little too far there.
Just a little.
Yeah,
just a little, just a tad.
So whenever I go out, I do not bring my real Labubu out, except for Momocon, but that's because I like...
Oh, so you did bring it out. Okay.
Yeah, so remember I had to like lock the pouch of my backpack a few times so that no one would take it. But whenever I go out, I use fake Labubus because that's a whole culture too. Like, fake Labubus are called Lafufus. Like, that's an actual name that the fandom has used.
Lafufu.
Lafufu, as in, like, fake. Fake Labubu, Lafufu.
I see.
So, I have 2 Lafufus and 1 Labubu, and if I'm going out and want to put a Labubu on my purse, I will use one of my Lafufus. I don't want anyone stealing my real Labubu.
But aren't you afraid of the shame that everyone's going to look at you and go, ha, she doesn't know that she has a counterfeit Labubu. What a rube.
This reminds me of a conversation I had with my aunt last week because I was over at her house for breakfast and she was like, Caro, I need some advice from you. And I'm like, sure. And she's like, my granddaughter loves Labubu and I want to get her a Labubu. But when I go to the store, they're like all overpriced because of scalping. And then every time I go to the Pop Mart website, they're all sold out. So the only ones that I can get are Lafufus that are sold everywhere. But like, my granddaughter doesn't want a Lafufu because she can tell whether they're real or fake. And she's like 9. So like, even kids now, because of how ingrained these Labubu are on social media, like, they know whether it's real or fake. So unfortunately, that aspect of it exists.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not like a case where you could say like, oh, well, they're just a kid. They won't know the difference. They do. They do know the difference. They
know more than you think they know.
Yes. Because real Labubus have pointed ears that touch together. Their heads turn. They have like a little UV logo that shows if you shine a light on it. They have a QR code. And then fake Labubus just don't have that.
I'm just trying to imagine, like, all of my childhood toys being taken this seriously.
Yeah. I think part of the reason why they've been taken so seriously is, like, unfortunately, with how social media is now, you're seeing more of, like, daily content online versus, like, before. You're seeing more stories of people, like, scalping these things and, like, waiting outside for hours for them. There's actually a story in the UK where a Pop Mart, which is the manufacturer of Labubus, by the way, in London, was so swamped by all of these people getting Labubus that multiple fistfights broke out for these toys. And, like, Labubus are not sold in the UK because of this incident. I'm not sure if they've been reinstated as of now, but like, as of May, they just weren't selling them anymore in person. And I'm like, wow.
That's crazy.
It's wild.
Why are people like this? Why is the human species like this?
But, you know, I think they're, like, a cute thing. I don't need to, like, collect all of them. Like, I'm perfectly content with, like, my 2 Lafufus and my 1 Labubu. But some people collect way more.
These fucking phrases.
I know. I bet, like, your millennial mind is like, huh?
You have my Lafufu and my Labubu and the Zuzudu? And I'm like, what? What are you saying? You're not as cool as me and my Megatron and my Starscream and my Optimus Prime, okay?
Hey, I didn't say that those were not cool. They are. I mentioned it earlier too, but people are really scalping for these Labubu because typically on the Pop Mart website and just in general, they're supposed to retail for about $20 to $25. There's one store at my mall that sells real Labubus, but they like marked the price up 3 times more than the original. So like, if you want the actual Labubu that I have, it's now $75. I got it for way cheaper than that before like all the prices blew up, but it's ridiculous. And if you want the special edition Labubus that have their own outfits and stuff, that you're definitely paying like more than $100.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, on the one hand, you don't have to go to Pop Mart, you don't gotta wait in line, you don't gotta like press your luck for a couple hours on the internet, but on the other hand, why are you raising the prices on them and you're scalping and you know.
I just look forward to the days when these collector's items are worth thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
I've got quite a few video games like Chibi Robo for the GameCube or The Misadventures of Tron Bonne or Steambot Chronicles. That would sell for a nice little pretty penny, I'll tell you that.
But I thought you didn't like Labubu. You didn't like the song I played for you, the Labubu song.
That song is horrible.
What do you mean it's horrible? It's cute.
Oh my god.
Labubu, labu labu, labubu.
Oh, Jesus. You know what? I'm going to put it in this podcast. I'm going to play it right now, and I'll let the audience decide for themselves.
Labubu, labu labu, labubu, labubu, labu labu, labubu, labubu, labu labu, labubu.
What did you think, folks? Did you like that? Or are you like me, where that makes you want to peel your face off?
I could get you a Lafufu. Remember when we went to like that Latin American market last month?
Yes.
And we saw all the Lafufus.
Oh yeah, we saw a shitload of Lafufus.
Yeah.
Also some Mario, Sonic merchandise that I will never forget.
We went into that one shop and the lady is like selling all of these bootleg like Sonic Movie 3 toys.
Yeah.
And then it's like the first case she showed us were definitely characters that were in the third Sonic movie, like Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Shadow, but they were just so like
goofy looking,
weird. Yeah, a little glitchy.
Yeah,
a little deformed, a little melted.
Just a little off.
Yeah. And then the lady was like, oh, if you want more Sonic toys, I have more behind this one. So she gets the first case and then she like lifts it up and there's another case behind it, but it has Metal Sonic, Silver, Chet the Hawk. These are all characters that are not in Sonic Movie 3. I was trying so hard not to laugh.
Now wait a minute, I've seen that movie. I don't think they were in there.
Yeah. So Jamie and I had to leave the store because we were just about to corpse in front of the poor like store worker.
Oh boy. We just have the giggles, that's all. We just have the giggles. Nothing about the quality of the merchandise at all.
I'm sorry, this has nothing to do with Labubu, but
and I know this isn't much of an opener for this podcast, but you know, every headline is like the worst news imaginable, and I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about the Xbox layoffs. Like,
no,
that's not a happy story. You know what sucks about doing this Xbox video that's been taking forever to come out? This thing should have been out in January. If I was a better content creator, it would have been. But like every month, something new about Microsoft and Xbox and that company keeps coming out and coming out and coming out. And I gotta keep changing the ending a little bit. Like I have actually added a reference to the layoffs this month just because, well, I can't not talk about it. They just canceled Perfect Dark. Like I can't not talk about everything they're doing. And it's like, ugh. The headlines are floods and corruption and just all the things nobody wants to hear. So, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in light of all that, let's just talk about our positive experiences lately. And by lately, I mean over a month ago, as I talk about our trip to Momocon.
Yay! You finally came to Momocon.
That's right. I finally came to my first ever Momocon convention in Atlanta, Georgia. And it was something else. It was something else.
You've been to TMG and you've been to MagFest. So
yeah.
We've talked about it before, but your audience doesn't know, obviously. But how did you think Momocon compared to like those two conventions?
I would say compared to everything else, compared to this is like the best one for cosplay.
Yeah.
Like, we were there in pretty warm weather. You know, it could have been a lot warmer. It definitely wasn't the warmest it could have been. So we're thankful for that. Oh my God. But you know, I still wouldn't want to wear heavy leather, let's say. I wouldn't want to wear all these fancy get-ups where you got a helmet or a hoodie or some kind of cape adorned around your body. I don't know, but good Lord, there was so much cosplay at Momocon. It was like the greatest, where I would just be walking down the street. I'd just be walking down the convention and I would be looking at like 10 or 20 different people who catch my eye and make me go, whoa, look at that. Ooh, look at that person. Oh, look at that person. Oh shit, look at that person. Oh my God, I feel underdressed. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Especially compared to MagFest and TMG. I'm not saying like people don't dress up for those conventions. They definitely do. But it felt extra cosplay-y at Momocon.
Well, like you said, weather could have been like hotter. There have definitely been Momocons in the past where the temperature is like above 90 and it's insufferable outside.
Ugh.
Yeah. So like the walk from like where we were staying to the con could have been worse. Could have been better. Could have been worse. What else did you like about the con?
Well, let's see. I thought it had some pretty interesting panels. We went to the X-Men 97 voice cast panel.
Yeah, that was a good one.
So we got to meet the original Rogue actor, who is way cooler than I thought she was going to be.
Oh yeah, she was great.
Oh my God. And we also met the voice actor for Magneto. And, you know, in these troubled times, I think we all aspire to be more like Magneto. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's right. Maybe Magneto was right.
What I liked about that panel, too, is that there was a wide range of ages there. Like, there were kids there, there were adults there. So it just really shows how generational, like, the X-Men TV show has been.
Like, because of the subject matter, everybody is different. Everybody has something that they can be bullied for, or, you know, there's homophobes and racists, and everybody can relate to the X-Men. So that kind of story is always going to be timeless.
Yep.
We saw the Sonic panel, so we got to see Colleen O'Shaughnessy, Tails. We got to see the current voice actor for Knuckles. I'm so sorry, I don't know his name at the top of my head right now.
I know who you're talking about, though. Someone in the comments will know.
And Jason Griffith, the old Sonic from the 2000s. Feels weird to say that. The old Sonic. The old Sonic. You remember Jason Griffith?
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to those days when I was just calling him Sonic.
That panel was fun. Though we were locked in the panel past, like, the end date because, from what I understand, there was a situation at Momocon where they had to hold everyone in the ballroom area of the convention center into their panel rooms until they cleared the emergency. So once that got cleared up, we were, like, allowed to head out, but the Q&A got extended.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But the people were also restless because it was like a lot of them didn't want to stay that long. A lot of them had prior engagements and things they wanted to do. And so they started lining up for the door and they started chatting and talking amongst themselves. And it got so loud to the point where like the voice actors had to be like, hey guys, I know this sucks. I know that you're stuck in here, but could you please keep it down?
Yeah.
We can't hear anybody. Sorry. We can't hear anybody. Whoa.
There we go. Get the Sonic in there.
We saw Brain Scratch.
Brain Scratch. Who are those guys?
Some call him Jonathan. Rion. And Theodore. Those fellas.
Yeah, those fellas.
We may have also crashed their Mario Party Let's Play, which they've already uploaded to their YouTube channel.
Yeah, so if you hear commotion in the background, that's like me and Clement just kind of chilling. Kind of backseat gaming.
You get to hear me make some snarky jokes every now and then.
Everything's looking up Monty Mole. Shout out to Nora for that bit.
Everything's looking Monty.
Mm-hmm.
Convention space was big and nice. I think that they said they're going to expand and even go bigger next year. So
yeah, because I don't know if you remember, but there was like a robotics convention that was also using the convention center space. Because for anyone that doesn't know, the Georgia World Congress Center is huge. It is big. It is huge. So you can have like 2 to 3 conventions going on at the same time in that building. So Momocon was on one end of the convention hall and this robotics convention was on the other side. But next year, they're using they're using both of those buildings, which is going to make the con huge. Huge.
Absurdly so.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine walking from one end to the other?
Gosh.
Hey, it's already a trek just going from like the front door all the way to the end of that hallway that leads to the vendors section, and then go all past that to get to like the gaming tournaments and the arcade machines and all of that stuff. Good God.
Yeah. I think the largest con I've ever been to, domestically speaking, that would be C2E2 in Chicago. Okay. But if you're talking like internationally, Comiket in Tokyo. Comiket is a convention where people sell like mangas that they've created. It's also like a huge place for like not safe for work art to be sold. So like that kind of market. So that was huge. That was easily like at least 200,000 or 300,000 people. Easily.
Good Lord.
So yeah.
It was quite massive. When we were at the vendors, I managed to get myself a plushie of Bowser, but not the typical Bowser that you always see. I got me a version of Bowser from the animated series, the green, scaly King Koopa variant. And when I saw King Koopa Bowser, I was just like, oh my God, I have to buy this. I never see this guy as a plushie anywhere. And he's actually sitting on my cabinet with my regular Bowser plushie, and they are 2 Bowser bros just guarding the fort. It's pretty awesome.
It's Bowser Generations.
Classic King Koopa and Bowser Modern. We'll get those pesky plumbers.
Yeah, I bought a couple things too. I bought this really nice hoodie from an artist that was like candy themed. And it fit my hashtag aesthetic, so I had to get it. So when the weather gets colder, I'm wearing that all the time. I got this Swablu figure because Swablu is my favorite Pokemon. So Swablu is just hanging on my TV stand. I also purchased Noel Gallagher because for some reason they were selling him at Momocon.
But like, I thought that was like a big highlight when we actually found him. Because, like, you had no plan to get any other Funko product. We were going into, like, Funko sections, and we would see the typical, you know, we'd see, like, anime characters, video game characters, TV shows like Breaking Bad and whatnot. Like, we see these types all the time. but I knew you had Liam and you were still looking for Noel. So I was scanning and scanning and scanning. And when I saw the words Noel Gallagher and the icon of Oasis on the Funko box, it was like, oh my God, we actually found it. Holy shit.
I feel bad for whoever ran that Funko Pop booth because they're like, why the fuck am I stalking a Noel Gallagher Funko Pop at an anime convention? Who's gonna buy this? Hello?
This girl!
It's me you're looking for.
I doubt you're gonna bring them to the Oasis concert.
I might.
Oh, you might?
I might.
Oh,
I
boy.
might. I don't know yet. I'm still trying to figure out my concert day outfit.
Yeah.
I also debated bringing one of my Lafufu and just like crocheting them a little outfit.
Okay.
And they're Etsy artists that can customize like different concert wear for your Lafufu or Labubu. So that'll piss off like a lot of people over the age of 45, but I don't care. But we'll see. We'll see.
You gotta get him Liam's glasses. Get the Lafufu with those glasses.
I should. I really should.
I'm sure they make tiny Lafufu-sized versions of those glasses somewhere.
They have to. I'll look at like some artist pages that I follow. But yeah, we bought a good amount of things at Momocon. We even found you can tell this story. the vendor. That vendor.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so something caught my eye because we were walking down all of the different vendors and, they're advertising what kind of franchises they have merchandise of, It's like, oh, there's Mario. There's One Piece, okay, it's all these different things. And then I noticed something for Street Fighter. Street Fighter, the most popular fighting game series of all time. Of course they have stuff for Street Fighter, but then it's like, it dawns on me, wait a minute. I've seen that graphic before. I've seen that render before. I know I seen something like that before. And then I look at the sides and look at the characters next to Ryu and I look at the background and I'm like, wait a minute. That was mine. I did that graphic. That's my picture. I did that.
Yeah.
Every single thumbnail I make for the insane lore of Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Tekken, those are all mine. I personally, it's not, I didn't draw the renders, but I did arrange all of the official renders from the official games, and I just placed them in a very aesthetically pleasing situation so that I could get people to click on the video, and I did make the insane lore of Street Fighter's thumbnail by arranging Ryu, Chun-Li, Bison to be front and center with Ken at the bottom, Juri, and Dhalsim and all those stuff, everything I arranged to be the way it is. And I don't know, maybe it's just Google's image search because this is like one of the big hot topic Street Fighter videos you can find on YouTube. Not to brag, it's got millions of views. But like, it works as a generic Street Fighter image. It works because I didn't put the insane lore above it. I just put Street Fighter. It's just Street Fighter. So anyone could just take that thumbnail and use it to advertise Street Fighter products. But, it was just kind of fascinating that as I was walking down, something I created, something I brought into this world, something I cooked up in my computer, is now being used to sell merch at Momocon. I feel so proud.
Wait, is this play about us? Wait, this play is about us.
Otherwise, Momocon was fine. I don't think it was as fun as MagFest. And again, I think the social aspect of like meeting up with friends is what makes TMG so great.
Yeah.
When we were like visiting that place at like midnight, 1 a.m. in the morning.
Oh, right.
We could just like walk through the hallways and see that they had like fucking raves going on in some of the conference rooms. So all the anime people were just like going and dancing at like 1 a.m. to all this crazy shit. Like Don't get me wrong. If I were young and single and I lived in the area and I was just like meeting all my online friends for the first time, this would be like the best hangout environment because everyone's dressed up in great cosplay and there's just so much to do. Like, oh, to be young again.
Oh, I feel you.
It's certainly a vibe. It's certainly an atmosphere.
I think it'd be fun to do like Momocon again in the future, especially since they're expanding next year. I'm probably going to do it next year just because I live in Atlanta. So like, it's nearby. Why not?
Absolutely. I love that environment and I love that convention center.
Maybe not next year because we have a lot of changes next year, but definitely for the future.
We'll see if America's still standing.
Yeah, right. Very true. Yeah, it was very, very fun. Shout out to the bartender at our hotel who I still think is a simulation.
It was like a fucking ghost in The Shining.
Yes, like the bartender was a wrestling fan, and I'm not kidding. His name was Shawn Michael.
His name was Shawn Michael.
Yeah. So every time he went, I just tipped him extra.
But like
you are not real. I am convinced that you are not real.
But like we got into like a gigantic discussion about the Attitude Era wrestling and he knew all the songs. We were singing along to everything. We did the New Age Outlaws intro and he knew it word for word.
And his name is Shawn Michael. I'm not making this up. I told my wrestling group chat that, and they were like, no fucking way, you're lying. I'm like, no, I'm not lying. His name is Shawn Michael.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Oh my God. So yeah, it was a good time. I did like the area around Momocon. I thought that was pretty good. I liked the Ted Turner restaurant where the Captain Planet plaque is on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't think the guy needed a statue, but yeah, there was a statue of Ted Turner there as well.
Yeah, it's a really good area. Definitely compared to TMG and MagFest, there's a lot more to offer in terms of food and things to do. Because TMG are in the middle of nowhere. And then MagFest, I find the pricing to be like a little bit more like on the more expensive side.
Yeah.
But like where Momocon is, if you want like cheap fast food, you can find it. If you want something a little bit more expensive, it's definitely there. So it's nice. It's nice. It's
and
very,
it's a big park. I just love that like it's not far from the convention to just go into this wide ass fucking park area where everyone could just like lie down and hang around. It's fantastic. I love it.
I love you, Centennial Park. And plus, like, the stadium was right across the street, so we went to an Atlanta United game after the convention.
Football.
Sí. Me gusta el fútbol.
Yeah. And I was their lucky charm, because apparently that team never does that well.
Okay, whoa. Let me clarify. Let me clarify.
Oh, God.
So this is like our worst season ever. We've done better. But
okay.
We were actually winning a couple games at the beginning of the season, but like since April, we've been on like a really bad streak of losses and ties, and the only time Atlanta United has won was when you were there. President in the state of Georgia. And since you left, we started being shitty again. So it's your fault.
You know, I bring a certain energy to everything, and when I touched the spike that they used to pound into the ground, I mean, I just irradiated my greatness clementousness, and I spread it to the whole stadium. I don't know what to tell you.
That's all your fault.
And then I left, and they started failing again.
Yeah. So earlier this month, the Club World Cup was in town, so I actually got to go to a few games. I got to go see Manchester City, which is like my favorite soccer team. But I also got to see PSG versus Bayern Munich. So that's the top team in France versus the top team in Germany. So to explain it in like wrestling terms, it was like watching Okada versus Omega at Wrestle Kingdom. Because the athleticism was so off the charts, and I'm like, damn, I'm gonna miss this. So like having to go from that game to then watching Atlanta United was a lot like, in my personal experience, going from that Okada Omega match to watching Monday Night Raw in 2017. It just felt so deflating.
Oh my god.
So I'm like, I missed you, Club World Cup. Come back, Club World Cup. Please. Please.
Save us. You know who else would say that?
Who else?
The citizens of Metropolis, as they beg for their great hero, Superman, to save them.
Yeah. Yes. I suppose that is true.
Don't worry, you can do the segues in the future. Don't worry. But but yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we just saw the newest entry of a new era for DC Comics and their movie division, because we saw James Gunn's Superman, which is the talk of the town. Everybody's seeing this thing. It's very rare for my hometown to get new movies, and this is one of the few movies they got on release day. So yeah, I definitely went to the theater to see Superman because I wanted to see what this was all about. And I kept hoping that this was going to be a hell of a lot better than Man of Steel, because Man of Steel was like the worst start to that movie franchise. And oh boy. And I can proudly say that I liked this Superman a lot. I thought it was definitely the best Superman movie I've ever seen in a theater. It's so much better than Returns and Man of Steel, and I can't wait to see what happens next in this universe, so I might actually follow this particular DC run at long last.
Well, the first thing I was going to say is, well, what's the Superman film's other competition, though? Because I feel like the Superman movies that have come out in your age have kind of been like subpar to bad, or at least they didn't get what Superman is supposed to be and what he's supposed to represent.
Yeah, like Superman Returns is supposed to be a sequel to all the Donner movies. It's supposed to be like following in that continuity, but holy shit, is it boring. Nothing happens in that movie. It's a lot of just standing around and conversations. Superman never punches anybody because his biggest threat is Lex Luthor. And how does Lex Luthor attack Superman? Oh, he's got kryptonite, because of course he does. And he just like stabs him once, and then he creates an island that's going to destroy the world. But then Superman, of course, recovers and saves the day. But who cares? Because I'm falling asleep. This movie's so boring.
And Man of Steel wasn't much better. I just felt like it was a little too grim.
Too grim, and I just don't like the messaging and the weirdness of how they treat Superman. I don't like the ideology of that film. And I know this is going to be a controversial statement. I know there's going to be people in the comments section who are going to go in super defense force for Man of Steel. I know it's a polarizing movie, and it's definitely split us down the middle. I understand that. But me personally, I never really fucked with the vibes. I don't like the look of the movie. I don't like the kinds of lessons they try to impart into Clark. Like, his dad is weird in that movie. His dad is constantly saying, like, no, you should have let that school bus full of children die because they could have found out you're superpowered. That was a bad decision, Clark.
Why'd you remind me of that?
The only reason he dies in that movie, spoiler, is because if he were to go super fast and save him from the tornado, everyone would know he's superpowered. And we can't have that. I would rather die than they know that you're superpowered. It's like, I guess. But, you know, you could just, like, make excuses. I'm sure he could use his super weight to just pretend that the tornado hadn't picked up enough steam yet. I mean, for God's sake, he wasn't even that far away, but whatever. He wasn't even that far away. But whatever. And why wasn't he running towards them? But whatever.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That's what I say. I'm like, I don't know. Well, at least you didn't have to sit through the Snyder Cut of the Justice League.
All 4 or 5 hours of it or something?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good God.
Mm-hmm. But as a contrast to that, Superman was very, very good.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Like, I love the way James Gunn directed and posed this movie. Because I just feel like he understands, like, what these Superman movies need and how to portray his character. Especially, like, with what we've been dealing with in 2025, like we said at the beginning of this episode, it's such a downer moment right now in humanity, I feel. And I feel like this movie was just, like, the dosage of hope that I needed.
If there's any hero we need right now, it's goddamn Superman. And I mean traditional, the way he's supposed to be, regular ass Superman, as opposed to, like, his dark counterparts who, you know, threaten to kill Batman or fucking Homelander or Omni-Man or Injustice Superman or all those evil, complicated gray Supermans who just are gonna do the wrong thing every now and then. Fuck that. We don't want that. We want the Boy Scout. We want Captain America.
Yeah.
We want truth, justice, and the American way. The guy who's naive and tells jokes and just is all smiles and he just wants to make the world a better place. That's the Superman I missed.
Yeah.
And that's the Superman we got. I thought he was perfect. I thought he was exactly how he needed to be.
It was such good casting, yep. I feel like everyone was casted so well. Even like Lex Luthor, because, like, my controversial take, which I understand if anybody doesn't agree, is that I like Jesse Eisenberg's portrayal of Lex Luthor in Batman vs. Superman. I think that is the only redeeming quality of that movie. But this Lex Luthor is fine too. I thought he was perfectly fine. And Clement's like, no, you're saying that to stir people up. I'm like, no, actually, like, every time I saw Eisenberg Luthor in Batman vs. Superman, it was like the only parts in the movie where I just smiled because I just thought it was ridiculous.
Oh, it's so ridiculous. It's the most goofy ass thing in the world. Like, I almost respect what they were trying to do with Batman versus Superman, because it's like, yeah, I think because he played Zuckerberg in the Social Network, I think Zack Snyder just thought, like, well, you know, in modern era, Lex Luthor would probably be like Mark Zuckerberg, so let's get fucking Jesse Eisenberg to play Lex Luthor. I get it. I get it. But, you know, he's such a goofy ass character in that movie, but regardless.
Yeah, he's like a Saturday morning cartoon villain, but, like, in the best possible way. There was one part towards the end where he did something, and I'm like, you are pathetic. You are a special kind of pathetic, and I love this.
But Nicholas Hoult, and Nicholas Holt's character wasn't that far off. I thought it was pretty, you know, that guy is also a petty ass bitch. But but I like the unseething anger in him. I like the just matter-of-factness of, like, I've got all this money, I got all these tech people under my command. Why doesn't the world know that this idiot, this stupid alien is not who he says he is? He's a fraud, and I'm going to expose him as the fraud he is.
Gosh.
That's Lex Luthor.
Mm-hmm.
There's a great moment where he's infiltrated the Fortress of Solitude, and he's kidnapped Crypto, the super dog. Because Crypto's in this movie.
Crypto!
And so Superman goes to his office and he's like, where is my dog, Lex? Where is my dog, Luthor? And of course, Lex, being a smarmy asshole, is just like, I don't know what you're talking about, Superman. But he puts his mug up to his mouth so you can't read his lips.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I haven't seen any stupid dog or his ugly cape. He's a guy you love to hate, and he's a fantastic version of Lex Luthor. And you're right on the money. The casting is so good because finally, I think we finally have a Lois Lane who's as good as like Margot Kidder was in the first few movies.
Yeah.
And she actually embodies Lois Lane. She's not just like, I'm a reporter and I'm here to report. Like, no, this is the girl who will stand up to what Superman says sometimes, who will call him out on his naive bullshit, because she's a take-no-nonsense reporter. She is the kind of journalist who just will go for the jugular if you let her. That's what gives her that sass, that attitude, that boss energy that Lois Lane is supposed to have. And she's just perfect. I thought her character and what she does in this movie is so Lois Lane, and I missed her because nothing against Amy Adams or Kate Bosworth in the last two movies,
yeah.
But those girls have not been Lois Lane. I'm sorry.
Plus, the chemistry between Lois and Clark is just so good. Like, I could believe they're a couple in real life.
Oh yeah, like they're making out and stuff a lot in this movie.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, that's how it is in real life.
But it's also just like a lot of the smaller things. Like, I like that there's lots of scenes of him saving people. I like that, not just people, he'll save a squirrel. Like,
yeah, he did, yeah.
A monster is terrorizing the city and a squirrel is in the way, and he goes out of his way to grab that squirrel and get him out of harm's way. It's cute and it's fun, and I just love all the goofy creative ways where like he's trying to like save a dog because the dog is in the street, and then the creature tries to stomp on the dog, and Superman's holding the creature's foot up, and he's just like, oh God, please go, and the dog won't go because it's a dog and it doesn't know what's happening. So he has to use his super breath to blow him out of the danger zone so he can let the foot fall down.
Yeah. It's such a believable Superman because the way he interacts with like the citizens of the town is like so him.
Uh-huh.
Especially with like the kids interacting with him and looking up to Superman.
They don't treat him like he's this Jesus Christ angelic. Yeah. He's our God. He's the greatest of all of us. He's Superman. I don't know if that's just also because we are set in a universe that has already established metahumans, aka superpowered individuals. So he's also sharing this universe with Hawkgirl and Green Lantern and Mr. Terrific. Yeah. So it's like he's not the only superpowered individual in town. There are other people like him. And so maybe that cushions the blow towards making Superman not as holier than thou. Oh my God, he's our savior. He's the best of us.
Yeah, you put it in a really good way because, again, he's like believable, but he's not to the point where he's like a deity or a god to like worship. Like, but at the same time, he's someone that you can rely on.
Yeah. But also, the main plot of this movie, the entire story of this movie is that Lex Luthor is basically trying to tarnish Superman's name. He's trying to turn him into the bad guy so that everyone is against him. And it does work. Like, he does convince the rest of the world through a plot device, through a plot thing, that Superman is not our ally. He's here to conquer all of us. He wants to rule over us. And at that point, the people start to rebel and they throw their stuff at him and everything. And I really love the meta commentary there as well. When we actually get into like how Luthor is editing media and I love that they depict him as having his own army creating these negative statements about Superman on social media. So like instead of having bots, like computer programs that are trash talking Superman all the time, he has a whole bunch of monkeys at computers, like actual chimpanzee monkeys. And I don't know, I think there's something funny about James Gunn doing that, because the image of everyone going, Superman sucks, this Superman's stupid, Superman's the dumbest, and it's like a wave of dumb monkeys just like typing at the computer. It felt like James Gunn was preemptively going after like the haters of this movie, who are just going to be hating it on principle as opposed to anything they actually believe.
Well, I also thought it was a commentary of like how internet discussion is now in general, because like it feels like whenever you comment on like Twitter or Instagram or really any social media platform, there are always like these bots and checkmarked accounts or whatever that just kind of just spew this and spew that and spew this and spew that, and like they just get so caught up in like misinformation and the manipulation of the media, which is how like Superman is seen in the way that he is in this movie. So like I just thought it was like a biting commentary on like things, which obviously like not surprised with James Gunn that it is.
It is a movie that does not hide away from these kinds of conversations. It doesn't hide away from the most relevant topics of today. Holy shit. The movie begins with an opening crawl that explains that Superman has interfered in a war that's going on between two Middle Eastern countries, effectively stopping one side from engaging in their activities, which, you know... very relevant story today that makes us wish that we had our own Superman who could do the same.
Yep.
Even very early on in the movie, we have this great scene that's in all the trailers where Lois Lane does an interview with Superman, and she's asking the hard-hitting questions. She's not pulling her punches. She's asking what any good journalist would be asking Superman. Like, did you consult the president of the United States? Did you consult with the president of Boravia? Did you do this? Did you do that? Did you do that? Didn't you think about the conflict, the consequences that were going to happen? And, you know?
Yep.
And I think there's this brilliant moment where Superman just undercuts all of that, all of those questions by just saying, people were going to die.
Yep.
And with complete silence. And it's interesting how you could read that scene in two different ways, that like, yes, Superman is naive and he did not think about any of this, or also, no, Superman is right. Why do we have all these stupid questions? People were being killed. It's a genocide. What the fuck?
Yep.
You know? So it's interesting that Superman is a more political movie than Captain America: Brave New World.
Yeah. The multiple interpretations work so well. Like you said, you could read it in one way, you could read it the other way, and it still absolutely works.
Yeah.
And I just felt reassured watching this movie. We're like, okay, I'm not the only one who feels this way about these particular like global issues.
Mm-hmm.
It's like in a period where it's so hard to get on social media and just see all kinds of shit flying your way, and you're like, has humanity really lost the plot? Is this really how the world's going? And you're like, oh no, wait, maybe I'm not alone in how I feel. Maybe we need to like band together, make more art, because it's really all we have now, like creativity, making things, producing things.
My favorite line, Lois Lane says that like Superman's, you know, your kindness and your empathy, and you always want to do the right thing, even if it pisses people off. You know, it's kind of cheesy. It's kind of corny. And Superman says, well, you know, maybe being kind is the new punk rock.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's a fucking line. That's a line that stuck with me, and I'm going to be thinking about for a long, long time.
I'm like, damn, yeah, let's go.
I'm like, wow, that's a really good quote for this movie, because like I'm going to be using that till the day I die. It's true though. Like it just feels like everyone just always takes the easy, lazy way so that they can get more money, and it's like, you know, you could just be kind. You just be cool.
Yeah.
Just be neat. I don't know. Maybe that's what's actually cool, is being kind, but whatever. It's a very fun movie that is always entertaining, not just in its conversations, but also its action scenes, of which there are plenty. Like Superman, he gets into a lot of scraps. He's always fighting villains like Ultraman and the Engineer, who even the Engineer has some pretty unique ways of battling Superman. I thought was different.
Yeah.
It's an entertaining film that humanizes Superman in a way that we haven't really had in a long, long time. I hope that in the sequels, James Gunn never turns him evil ever.
No.
I don't want evil Superman anymore. We're sick of it. We don't want him to get brainwashed or anything. Just don't do it. Don't fucking do it.
It's just a really good, like, start to whatever vision James Gunn and the new, like, DC universe have.
Yeah, like, I actually want a sequel to this.
Yeah, same. Like, I haven't been excited about DC movies in, like, a very, very long time. I mean, I liked Wonder Woman, but, like, compared to the other movies in that DC universe, I mean, that's a kind of a low bar to aim for.
It's just weird because it's like, it starts off with the grittiest series of movies with Batman of Steel and Batman versus Superman. And so there's a tone that it kind of set. And it really took like standouts like Shazam and to really start and Suicide Squad. Well, the second Suicide Squad. The first movie's
the first
pretty
Suicide
edgy.
Squad is black. Yeah.
The first movie had fucking Jared Leto Joker.
Don't remind me of Jared Leto. This is a Jared Leto free podcast.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He won't be in the third Tron movie, I swear.
Don't tell me that. We're finally getting a third Tron movie after 15 years. Why is Jared Leto in it? Nine Inch Nails is doing the soundtrack, and the new song is great, but Jared Leto is still in that movie.
Oh.
We can't have good things in this world.
And it's set in the real world as opposed to the Tron world. Oh, good. Just when I want to see people in Tron outfits walking around New York.
Tron in real life? It sounds like a Mr. Beast video.
But anyway, the point is, I couldn't really fuck with most of the DC movies. I really only saw individual things because my friends would tell me they were above and beyond. Like Shazam, the new Suicide Squad with James Gunn, because that was great, because James Gunn's a great filmmaker.
Not a movie, but the Peacemaker TV show, amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like even, I was recommended Aquaman 2 because that movie's pretty goofy.
Yeah.
But like, I enjoy this new setup. I want to see this version of the Flash. I want to see this version of well, assuming they don't incorporate Robert Pattinson's Batman into this universe, because they do incorporate Peacemaker into it, which I thought was interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we do get a cameo from John Cena. So I don't know what's canon or what's following continuity with this movie, but I am curious about the rest of the DC universe for this thing. And, I'm on board. I want to see what happens.
Hey, sign me up. I loved it more than Man of Steel.
Yep. I loved it more than Batman versus Superman.
Definitely more than Batman versus Superman.
Ugh. They don't kill Jimmy Olsen in the first few minutes in this movie.
No.
And you know that beloved character, Jimmy Olsen? Let's just fucking shoot him right off the bat. Oh.
And, it's a good time to, like, offer people something new. Something fresh, a new, like, superhero take on things.
Yeah.
So why not do that with a revived DC universe? Let's see how they handle, like, their own cinematic universe with, like, the new direction they're going in. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm optimistic.
That's what you want when you get out of a Superman movie.
Yeah.
That you're optimistic about the future and it makes you smile and happy about things for once.
You always want to say, we are so back, we are so back, we are so back, we are so back.
We're so back, we're so back. Superman was good. I loved Superman.
You know who else is back?
Who's back?
AEW, baby, they're back. I've waited so long for them to do a fantastic show from beginning to end without any bullshit or whatever thrown in their way. But somehow they did. They did that. They did it. It's like the angry video game nerd, like, clip. You know the episode where, like, so honestly, I don't remember what episode it is, but I know it does involve LJN. And,
Okay.
like, he's playing a game that's actually pretty good, and he realizes it's produced by LJN, which has produced, like, a lot of, like, horrible licensed games. And so, the nerd's like, they did it! They made a game that's not shit! It's how we feel about AEW in 2025. I'm like, they did it! They've made creative that's not shit! We are so back!
I think it's established that All In is basically their WrestleMania now, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm safe to say that after, like, the last weekend, it's pretty much their WrestleMania.
Yeah.
It was a 6-hour show, but it didn't honestly feel like 6 hours. I feel like everything was timed perfectly. I didn't feel like one match went too long than it needed to. I thought the breaks in between were fine. So it was one of their most, if not their most concisely timed show. Because the issue with AEW pay-per-views I've been feeling is that, like, you started on a Sunday night, it's 8 p.m. And, like, a lot of the times, because they're cramming in a lot of matches, you're going to be watching till, like, midnight or 1 a.m. if you're on the East Coast.
Yeah.
And that's not including the pre-show and the scrum afterwards, because that can easily turn into, like, 8 hours if you're watching everything. Easily.
Tony's doing his makeup and he wastes an hour just till the scrum starts.
Yeah.
Tony, we're dying here. We're trying to sleep.
They've done a better job shortening the scrum lengths, though, because I remember they used to go for, like, 2 hours, but they've done a good job lowering the time down, so I'll give them that.
Yeah. I just don't think they're necessary at all. We could just stop doing them completely, but, you know.
I mean, I agree with you, too.
To me, it's another reversal of fortune. I feel like this happens every now and then where, like, I always come back to that Seinfeld joke where at the end of season 4, George starts becoming successful because he starts doing the opposite of his instincts. He starts doing the opposite and he becomes really, really successful. Meanwhile, his friend Elaine, just everything's going to shit. Just everything's going the most horrible it could be. And it used to be backwards when the episode started. So he just goes like, my life is always in equilibrium. See, you were down and she was up. Now she's down and you're up. You see how this all works out for me?
I need to Photoshop a picture of the WWE and AEW logos.
And I always go to that whenever I think of wrestling because I feel like it's always like a teeter-totter. At some points, AEW is up and WWE is down, and then WWE goes back up and AEW starts going down again. And we're back in full swing with AEW being on top and WWE being kind of like, whatever.
Yeah.
I won't say WWE is like terrible.
No.
It's certainly not 2019 bad.
No, and there's some people who think that, like, 2019 creative is better than this year. So I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not.
What do you mean?
Y'all do not remember 2019. 2019 was a minefield. It was bad. It was really bad. I still contend it's their worst year. It's still their worst year.
I don't know what the vibe shift has been exactly. I don't know if it's the overabundance of PLEs at WWE. I don't know if it's TKO putting too much money and hands into the cookie jar, you know?
It's a mix of several things, I feel. Because definitely TKO, because prices for tickets are more expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Just to compare, when we went to WrestleMania last year, like, the tickets that we had were maybe priced 4 to 5 times that this year for Mania. And the fact that, like, right, so they were supposed to hold WrestleMania in New Orleans next year. They had the promos, the graphics, they had everything lined up. The city of New Orleans advertised it. And then, like, all of a sudden, they were like, nah, it's not in New Orleans next year. And everyone's just kind of like, what do you mean? You announced it. You announced the dates and you advertised it. And TKO's like, no, we made lots of money in Vegas, so we're going to do Vegas again next year. I'm just like, good. Wow. That is so bad.
Yeah.
You know what kind of message that sends to other cities? They could just easily have a Mania or a big event like that taken away from them. I just feel so bad for New Orleans. Even if they've hosted Mania a couple of times, like, I still think it's pretty shitty that, like, they had Mania taken from them in that manner. Yeah.
Fucking, okay, it was profitable, cool, but you give New Orleans what you promised, and then you make Vegas next year. Like, come on.
And then, I don't know if you saw this headline, but the logic is that TKO wants to make Vegas a regular site for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Not that they're gonna have it there every year, but, like, they want Mania to be in Vegas when the city's not hosting a college football bowl game or a major sporting event.
Yeah.
You know, like a Super Bowl caliber thing. So I guess Vegas is now, like, a regular rotating city that they're just gonna pick. But there's that. That soured a lot of people's, like, moods. Also, their press leading up to Mania weekend wasn't necessarily the best. The press was bad.
Yeah, and I don't know. I also just got the vibe that some people were not digging the John Cena heel turn.
No.
Like, it didn't live up to the hype and potential of what that was supposed to be.
Mm-mm.
And I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it. I have been following along. I have Netflix. You know, I can tune into any of the new PLEs as they happen. But, nah, it's been fine. You know, it's just... It's just been fine. I'm not, like, super blown away by any of the developments that have been going on.
No. So this is a good time to get more fans pulled into the AEW product, introduce them to new wrestlers, get some spicy storylines in there, and I can definitely say AEW's creative right now is the best that it's been since 2021, which I consider, again, 2021 to be their peak year, but there's so many characters that I'm interested in right now in AEW. Aside from, like, Kenny Omega. Because, like, Hangman's character arc is great with Swerve. There's been amazing character progression with those two. And then, I've been very bleh on the Death Rider storyline. But even they tried to rectify that towards the end of its cycle. They have a lot of great baby faces now. Like, my issue with AEW is that they have a lot... or they had a lot of heels, but there weren't, like, a lot of believable baby faces to take on the Death Riders. But now they have, like, Hangman and Kenny and Swerve and Will. Like, there's, like, really good amount of, like, faces that they can work with now. And Darby's back, so they have him now.
It's a good who's who of, like, holy shit, these guys are stars, and I want to see more of them.
Yeah. Plus, like, their women's division has been so fantastic. Like, continuing on from, like, all the stuff they've been doing last year. Like, I'm so happy with how that division has changed, because it was kind of hit or miss in the beginning of AEW's cycle. But since they've gotten, like, Toni Storm and Mariah May, even though she went to WWE, and Willow Nightingale, like, there's a lot of competition for the women's division now. And that's amazing. It's awesome. I love it.
Timeless Toni Storm is still, like, the woman of wrestling right now. It's just every time she has something going on, I'm always looking forward to her promos because I know it's going to make me laugh no matter what. And she's just got this fucking chaotic energy. She's making wrestling a piece of art. She's making wrestling something that I'm glued to and scanning and paying attention to. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is crazy.
Really fantastic queer representation too. Like, because it's just so, like, it's great. It's campy. It's amazing.
Look, when she wins, she's just going to take Renee Paquette and take her to the back, and John Moxley's just going to have to deal with it, okay? I'm sorry. She needs a victory fuck. It's consensual, don't worry.
Yeah, I was going into All In thinking that Mercedes was going to win.
Yeah, I did too.
Just because she was on a roll with, like, all these belts, and I guess, like, she technically, I would not be surprised if she's, like, their highest paid, like, women's wrestler, just considering her background.
Like, the temptation to not give her that belt is so low, because it's like, you have this moment where it's just like, okay, if we get Mercedes the win, she will have the most belts out of anyone ever. No one, it'll take forever for anyone to reach that level of beltitude. But they reined themselves in. They didn't go all the way. They went half cocked. No. They decided to go, no, you know what? Mercedes ain't gonna win this one. We're gonna let Tony win. I was like, oh shit. It was definitely a victory. Along with Hangman, actually, this is both of the main heroes of AEW. I didn't think Hangman was beating Will Ospreay, and I didn't think that Tony was beating Mercedes. Yeah. But I was proven wrong.
Yeah, and thinking about it further, I think it's also a goodwill gesture to give Tony the championship. She's been at AEW longer than Mercedes. She's held the belt, like, 4 times, including her current reign. Like, she's really put in the work for that division.
Yeah.
So I think giving her that win at All In was, like, a good gesture to make for all the hard work that she's done. Not discrediting Mercedes at all, because she's incredible.
Oh, she can dry her tears with one of those 6 belts she's holding.
Yeah. But I just simply thought they were going to go with, like, a belt collector thing with Mercedes, like they did with Kenny a few years ago.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I said. Like, the temptation was there. She could have had another belt to that gigantic list of belts. And they went, no, we're going to pull back. We're not going to do it. I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
The wrestling is always, like, the actual wrestling, as always, is still, like, high energy. Holy shit, that's exciting. You don't see this in WWE. Oh, my God, this pay-per-view rules kind of shit, you know?
The Young Bucks have really made, like, a 180 on their character. Because I did not like their EVP character at all.
No.
I mentioned it before. It just reminds me too much of the CM Punk stuff. And I feel like that's something AEW needed to move on from.
It also just felt like contractually obligated to be this character because that's the expectation set for us.
Yeah.
Like, we have to be the corporate heels because nobody likes us for the CM Punk thing, and we are the EVPs, so we'll just lean into that because what other gimmick can we be?
It sucked because the Young Bucks can do campy very well. They've done it before. They've been cheesy heels before. When they were with Kenny during his title reign, they were great. There's a certain responsibility that comes with being an EVP in real life. And that's one thing. If you're also a wrestler, that's also complicated. And there are real life implications of being an EVP that I just don't want to be reminded of when I watch wrestling.
For sure.
So to see them being like the evil EVP character, I'm just like, this doesn't work for me. It just reminds me too much of behind the scenes stuff. I can't vibe with this. I really can't. But since they emphasize the founding father character side of their current story right now more, dressing up as like George Washington and like the founding fathers and
very
having like
Apollo Creed.
Yeah, like dressing in these ridiculous like hairstyles. I'm like, that's the Young Bucks I know. That's the Young Bucks I love right there. I feel like if they sticked with that character a little bit longer, I would have been more receptive to what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
And I'm glad, like, they're going down a character route now where they just lose everything. Like, in the most recent episode of Dynamite, they lost their Titantron, and they just had Comic Sans writing on the Titan, on the screen. And I'm like, oh, that's great. Like, their limo was destroyed. They had to Uber to the arena. And I'm like, yes, that's the cheese right there.
We're gonna get the Happy Corbin, like, Please, we're on our hands and knees begging you. Please.
Yes, that's how they should be. They should be desperate individuals. I want them to be so desperate to make money that they bring BTE back.
Oh shit!
No
you just gave a $1 million idea.
We have no choice. We have to bring the blog back.
That main event in All In was fucking crazy.
It's my match of the year.
Like, it's weird when you get to the point where you're like almost concerned. Like, dude, this is some pretty big gashes in their backs. Are they okay? I feel like they're losing a lot of blood. It's thanks to wrestling I realize how much blood a human being can lose without it being like, you know, you're about to die situation.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus, the human body can lose a lot of blood. Holy Moses.
I know, understandably, a lot of their fans don't want to see too many, like, sports entertainment aspects in their AEW matches, which I get. I understand. You want to be different from WWE. But I think sometimes, not all the time, not every week, but sometimes you could benefit a little bit from borrowing tactics of your competition. Which is why I really loved the end of that match where everyone is just running in and they're interfering. And I'm like, this is overbooking, but it's fantastic because this match deserves it because it's a climax of a story.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think it's technically a sports entertainment thing to just have like numerous callbacks and like the culmination of a long built up storyline just pay off like that. Like, yeah, I understand this happened at WrestleMania 40. It is very similar to WrestleMania 40. I get that. But it's like, well, they kind of wrote themselves into a corner. They had to do something like this because we've already established the Death Riders are cheaters. They're always going to bring in Yuta and
Claudio.
No, Sharina Zafir.
Marina Shafir.
Oh, God. Marina Shafir. Marina Shafir. I just laughed thinking about Marina Shafir because during the All In main event, she's going to get the title. And there's this girl who is so audibly loud, like this little girl, like a 7-year-old girl in the audience, who's just like, no, Marina, don't do it. I laughed so hard hearing that little girl say that. But it was okay, because then she got handcuffed, and it was all thanks to Prince Nana, and everything was fine.
That was a good spot.
But the point is, we've established that gang is a bunch of cheaters. They're always going to help John. They're going to gang beat the opponent, and it's a no DQ match. And it's one-on-one with a guy who's part of a group that cheats. Like, of course they were going to interfere. What else can happen but Swerve and Darby and Bryan Danielson showing up to help give Hangman the opportunity, the chance he needs. It's like, imagine Star Wars if Luke just dodged all of Vader's lasers and destroyed the Death Star anyway. It's better when Han Solo comes in out of nowhere to be like, yeehaw, and he fights Vader, and Vader has to retreat because he's outnumbered, you know?
Yeah.
It's just a storytelling thing. It's the way this story was built up. It's a giant group of mega heels. You need a group of baby faces to help the hero so that it can work out.
Yeah, they definitely made the right choice with Hangman winning, because he just represents a lot of what AEW was built on.
I agree.
And then when they finally unveiled the belt, like when Hangman took the title belt out of the briefcase, it still had the plates from Bryan Danielson's like reign. So that was a really good bit of storytelling that I liked. Like, Mox was holding this title captive for so long that they didn't even change the nameplates from when Bryan held the title last year.
Yeah.
That is such a good touch of storytelling.
And yeah, that was his gimmick. He put the title in a briefcase because we weren't allowed to see it.
No.
And so, like, what a payoff to finally open that thing up. And oh my God, I haven't seen that thing in a while.
I gotta give it to you, TK. I wasn't familiar with your game.
You're back on top until WWE gets back on top, and then you go down somehow. But you're back on top.
I hope not.
Oh, it will. It's a teeter-totter. It's going to go back down and go up and go down and go up. But what would you say is the state of wrestling? What is the overall state of wrestling?
I mean, it's really nice to see AEW back on the top of their game. I've said it a million times. I've been like on and off this promotion since like 2022. But I feel like this is the first time in a very long time I feel optimistic about where they're going.
Yeah.
Even despite how Dynasty ended, I felt like starting with Double or Nothing, I was like, okay, we got something here. Like, I'm excited for Forbidden Door now. I want to go to All Out in Toronto in September.
Yeah.
So it's a good start. You have options. If you don't like WWE, you have options. You do.
I'm glad AEW is on top. I'm glad that the wrestlers are turning heads. Like Brody King got a lot of attention for his Abolish Ice Brody. Shirt and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
The wrestling's still peak. The wrestling is actually still really, really fun. And I'm glad to see them flourish again.
Yeah.
And, WWE's fine. It's still there. It's still what it is. I just feel like it's gotten too many injuries with Seth Rollins and Liv Morgan.
Kevin Owens.
Right, Kevin Owens got hurt too. Shit.
He worked the match at Elimination Chamber hurt.
God.
Which is wild, yeah. I feel like the creative of WWE peaked at Elimination Chamber. I feel kind of grateful we went to that event, because it's like we saw the last glimpse of like honeymoon creative, and then just kind of went bleh.
Well, I remember when we did our last C Squared, I put John Cena's heel turn on the front, on the thumbnail.
Yeah.
Because that was a crazy ass moment, and we hadn't seen WrestleMania yet.
It was.
We hadn't seen WrestleMania yet. And we were just like, holy fuck. Cena finally did it. Where is this going? And the weird thing was that, like, The Rock never showed up to WrestleMania.
No, because The Rock never had a plan.
Yeah.
The Rock had no plan for Mania. The only reason he showed up to Elimination Chamber was because ticket sales were lower than expected for Toronto. So Dwayne brought up the idea of like, oh, okay, well maybe I'll just show up and do like a little segment. But the point is, you can't just show up and say, Cody, I want you to join my side without like having some sort of end game.
I know.
Because I thought The Rock was going to show up at Mania this year and then maybe do something during that main event. But all we got was Travis Scott.
I know. Oh no, it's a rapper. It's just, it's just things like that are like the chinks in the armor that just go, well, that could have been a little better handled. I don't like how this thing's going. It's just the one thing that's turning WWE into like, we were so high off of WrestleMania 40, just being like Triple H era. Oh my God, fucking, it's the greatest shit ever. WWE is going to be fucking amazing from now on. And, of course, at some point it had to peter out, and it's petering out a little bit. It's not 2019 bad, but it's certainly like, we have questions.
We have questions.
Yeah, I still like wrestling. Wrestling's great.
I still think wrestling is dandy and swell. Maybe we'll see if Cody Rhodes turns heel.
That'll be fun.
Maybe.
He should.
Oh, heel Cody Rhodes is great. He's fantastic. Oh, yeah. He's so funny. But I wouldn't want Cody Rhodes' soul to be tainted.
Oh, no?
No, I don't want his soul to be tainted. Because Cody Rhodes is a good boy, and he shouldn't have a soul telling him what to do. And telling him to have a predetermined path, like in Deltarune.
I was wondering where the hell that was going.
Because you have a soul in Deltarune.
I guess
soul
you do.
Is you.
Yes, you do.
You're the heart.
That's right, folks. Another thing that happened the last time we did a podcast was that they released Deltarune Chapter 3 and 4. And it is now a proper official release that you pay money for, and it has a platinum trophy and everything. And I already got the platinum trophy because it's really easy to get.
Yeah.
But Deltarune is back. We last talked about it in episode 5.
Jeez, that long? Damn.
C Squared number 5, Renaissance.
Wow.
3 years ago.
Wow.
At least YouTube's version of 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been a while since we talked about Deltarune, because this game, I feel like this thing is not going to be completely finished until 2028, I'm guessing.
Well, Chapter 5 is definitely coming out next year.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting that. Yeah.
That's why I say, like, Chapter 6 will likely come out the following year, 2027, and then Chapter 7 will come out in 2028. And I think that would be very fitting, because Chapter 1 came out in 2018.
Yeah.
And to have the final chapter come a full 10 years after Chapter 1 would make this quite the journey indeed. But Jesus Christ. It's crazy. It's always crazy to remind people and to inform them that Deltarune has been a thing since 2018.
Yep.
That Chapter 1 came out that long ago. And we're just now talking about Chapters 3 and 4.
And what'd you think?
Oh, I loved it.
Oh, yes.
Deltarune is one of those games that I am so excited to play, and I'm so excited to theorize about. And that's another thing I wanted to bring up about this particular discussion on C Squared. We're going to try and be non-spoilery for a bit, but I think the more interesting conversation about the game will be the plot threads and where it's going and the developments we discover throughout the chapters. So I think that will take up a good chunk of the conversation. Just fair warning, I'll warn you about spoilers, but there will be spoilers in this podcast if you just want to turn it off now and play the game yourself. Mm-hmm. Deltarune, for those unfamiliar, is a sequel / parallel story, according to the trailers, to Undertale, which came out in 2015 and was the indie smash of the century, as it has a ridiculously gigantic fan base, and for good reason. I've always enjoyed Undertale. I think that game deserves the accolades it gets because it is as good as any of the old Squaresoft 1990s RPGs that you remember growing up with as a kid.
Yeah.
Like it's on the level of like Final Fantasy VI, Chrono Trigger. If Undertale had come out 20 years ago, it would still be a beloved classic. It's got one of the best soundtracks, the gameplay's fun, and there's just nothing like it. People are still theorizing and talking about what you learn about the plot in that game till the end of time.
Yeah. Undertale is one of my favorite games ever. Definitely top 10.
Yeah.
And if Deltarune sticks the landing, it's going to exceed Undertale.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right off the get-go, Deltarune has a better combat system. I like that he implemented party members into this bullet hell kind of situation where you have to manage all of their different stats and whether they pacify or spare people individually and stuff like that. There's a lot of interesting mechanics going on there. And yeah, as a story, it's already like 4 times bigger than Undertale right now, currently.
Yes.
Like, it's already a massive story just by itself as is. But when Chapter 7 comes out, this is going to be a gigantic, oh my god, full 40-hour RPG, I bet.
Yeah. I binged chapters 3 and most of chapter 4 in like one day. I did the end game of chapter 4 the next day, but like when 11 a.m. hit, I downloaded it off my PS5 and then I played it until like 11 p.m. that night.
12 hours.
Yeah, I played it for 12 hours.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was great. Such a good time.
Because it is a labor of love. It's not something
Yes.
that's just like made to get, you know, a whole bunch of money. Like some Square Enix projects, you look at them and think like, yeah, this is just being made because they wanted to try something different. There's not a lot of passion behind this thing. But Deltarune definitely has a lot of care into every single line of dialogue, every piece of music, every background detail and little... I love the fact that Aunt Tenna, the main antagonist of Chapter 3, is a CG... He's like a Donkey Kong Country character.
Yeah, it gave me Rareware vibes.
Yeah. he's got that 3D sprite kind of thing effects going on where everyone else is a regular 2D sprite, but he looks like a Donkey Kong Country character. He's just like, and he has like so many animations and so many sprites for all the things he's doing in Chapter 3. It's fucking crazy.
I remember when you boot up Chapter 3 and like you're walking in like that hallway or whatever with Ralsei and Susie, and then the TV intro for Tenna's show starts, my mouth dropped. I'm like, oh my god, I love this so much. I can see why it took 3 years for this chapter to come out. I get it. Because they just throw the wackiness at you so quickly, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. I love this.
He finally found a way to put all those CG goat models he keeps making into the game itself.
Absolutely.
Because that's my favorite gag about even the trailers of Undertale. Every single trailer for Undertale has a fake scene that's not in the game, where like a 3D model of Toriel runs into a whole bunch of blocks.
Yeah.
And it's like, again, that's the fucking humor of Toby Fox that I absolutely adore, is that even from the get-go, the first trailer, he's making weird mock-ups of Toriel that don't actually exist, just so that people can find out about them and go, what the hell? He made a weird clip for the trailer. It's fucking crazy. I think the way each chapter has felt unique and special, like in Chapter 3, you're part of a game show, and you're answering trivia questions, and you're playing like a Legend of Zelda type video game, figuratively and literally, because the characters themselves are playing this Legend of Zelda type video game. And we actually see like the frame of them from outside the TV. And there's even like these little cute moments where Susie doesn't like the puzzle and she doesn't like doing this, but her character's the only one who can move these pieces around. So she's just like, screw this. She'll switch the controllers and go, Chris, you're playing as me now. You solve the puzzle.
Yeah.
It's that out of the box thinking and that crazy sensibility that I just absolutely adore about this game, where you never really know what's going to happen next, but you know that it's going to be really entertaining regardless.
Just like Tenna backseat gaming their playthrough.
Yeah, he's telling you how to play and do this and do that. I remember there's this one part where you get like the boat and you start sailing, and I sailed all the way to the top, and I'm trying to go as far as I can to see what exactly is up there. And Tenna's just like, Chris, there's nothing up there in that part of the game. There's nothing there. Nothing there. Chris, what are you doing? Stop going up. There's nothing there. And eventually he just like fucking resets the game and goes, no, sorry. There's nothing up there. You're wasting your time. I'm like, oh, okay. We find out why later. But it's just, that's a thing that as a player, potentially I did not have to do, because it does take a long time to keep scaling up that river. And most players might have gotten bored and just not done it. But I kept doing it. I wanted to see, because I knew this is Toby Fox. Something's going to happen. Something's going to change.
There's always going to be one player who's like curious, and like that's the whole thing with these games, is that like there's always little secrets and little stuff that are revealed if you just keep exploring and looking things a little more carefully.
It's like one of the few games where you would think of it in a way that you wouldn't think of it in other video games, No. Like some video games are just like, oh, well, they're not going to put a little Easter egg. They're not going to have a character actually react to the thing I'm doing because they didn't think of that. Whereas in this game, Toby Fox did think of that, and there's probably a reaction to the thing I'm doing.
He's always one step ahead. Toby, you little dog.
How did you know? How did you know some players were going to do that? What the fuck? But at its heart is a really good story with really good characters. So even beyond the goofy gameplay and all the wacky shenanigans that happen, all the memes that come from this thing, there's still a lot of heart in what exactly you're reading. And I like that. And Tenna has his own sad story and his own his own shit going on that you empathize with the TV of all people.
He might be like my favorite character of like the chapter ones that you meet.
Oh yeah?
He's just so ridiculous. Yeah, he's ridiculous, but he also has sad boy hours.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But he's like, let's talk about the word of the day, divorce. You know that, Chris?
Are you okay, Antonio? No! Everything's fine! Everything is on fire, but I'm absolutely fine!
Yeah.
The little mini games they do there where like you're doing this cooking show and you have to collect things on your head, and the music basically turns into Guitar Hero, where you're doing like a musical rhythm game.
Yeah.
Again, it's always throwing new stuff at you, and it's just really fun to play. And I think the thing I always think about is I always have a big ass smile on my face trying to figure out what's going on, and just exploring that Zelda map, just trying to explore that little video game map and see how do I get this palm tree out of the way? How do I get this boulder out of the way? What do I do to figure this all out, you know? There's something just so engaging about Deltarune.
Yeah, there's always like something to find out. Like, you can fight a water cooler that's apparently super evil.
It's like and it's also like the last place you expected to fight something.
Yeah. I also I love the green room theme, like when you're in like the break room in between each game. I think it was like one of the first music tracks that Toby revealed from this chapter. And I remember hearing it in 2022 and I'm like, oh damn, this is a vibe. I can't wait to see what this is used for.
And then you go from chapter 3 to chapter 4, and the tone differences between those two chapters couldn't be any higher.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Chapter 4 is when the game gets serious. This is when the shit gets real, I would say, in Deltarune.
Oh yeah. Toby realized that chapter 3 is kind of more on the lighthearted side, kind of. We'll get into spoilers. Chapter 4 though,
yeah.
Lore truck gonna hit you.
No, I like it because everything is picking up and we're finally getting access to a lot of stuff we've always heard about but haven't actually seen yet. Like we've always had the knowledge that the big bad of this story, the bad guy, is the Roaring Knight, the knight who's been opening up all the fountains and making all this darkness appear. And we finally get to see the knight in Deltarune chapter 3 and 4. And I was like, oh fuck. The knight's here. Oh shit. I finally have an image to the persona and the identity of this character. We finally meet Noelle's mom in this story.
Oh yeah.
She's been hanging out in the background being the mayor. We can visit City Hall and the mayor's office, but we never actually saw her. And now we finally get to see what she's all about.
Yeah.
The scope of what the threat is, what the consequences are if they fail, and what exactly this journey is all about is all explored quite heavily in chapter 4, and the stakes are high, and we have a cliffhanger at the end of chapter 4 that makes chapter 5 feel like it's something fucking crazy is going to be going down in that chapter. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm. Gosh, I can't wait for next year. Gosh.
I cannot wait to see what the hell happens in chapter 5, because there's a lot to go on about. In fact, I think that's the perfect segue to say that we love Deltarune. Deltarune is still like a game that if it came out 20 years ago, it would still be one of the best Super Nintendo, PS1, whatever games that have ever existed. I love all the characters. The battle system is fantastic. Even just like the wacky boss fights. You're taking too long.
Yes.
I will never forget that boss fight. That was... I feel like as a creator and as someone who has been working on this game for God knows how long.
Yeah.
I think he internalized some anxiety with that particular boss fight. I don't know.
I feel like Toby was venting at us for a bit with that boss fight.
You're taking too long.
Yeah.
If you don't know what we're talking about, play the game and find out, because it's fucking amazing. But it's an amazing game. I am still hooked into this universe, and I'm still eagerly looking forward to what happens next. So everyone should play it.
Yes, you should.
But now, we've already talked about this game in episode 5. We're going to talk about it again, but this time we're going to get into more spoilery things, because we want to talk about some of the developments we discover and learn about.
Yep.
And the hidden boss fights and stuff like that. And I want to get into all of that. So if you don't want spoilers for Deltarune, what's available since the end of chapter 4 anyway, turn the video off. Turn the podcast off. Go touch some grass.
Go play Deltarune yourself and then come back. So, I'm just going to start off with this because Toby is like a genius. Because I know he's been planning this game for a long time. There's the moment at the end of chapter 4 where Chris and Susie are walking back to like where Chris and Susie are walking back to their house. And then you see like Toriel and Sans dancing together. But before that, there's this song that plays in the background when you're walking through town and it's quiet. And I looked up the title of that track.
Okay.
And it's called The Place Where It Rained. And if you remember from Undertale, when there's the scene where Sans is talking to Frisk about meeting Toriel, that scene in Undertale, the track is called It's Raining Somewhere Else. So when I saw the Deltarune track, I'm like, Toby, fuck! This was the night! This is the place where it rained! This was the night!
Oh my god.
Because it was the last night Sans was happy because he was with Toriel and Deltarune, and they were drunk and dancing. So I firmly believe now that he's not Sans Undertale, he's Sans Deltarune. He's been Sans Deltarune the whole time. That is my theory.
Oh, Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I am also of the opinion that Sans, as we are encountering him in Deltarune, is going to become the Sans of Undertale. I am also in that camp. Because yes, I know this is an alternate universe storyline, but the way the trailers always say that, like, this is running parallel with Undertale, it's a parallel story. I also agree that, like, there is going to be something that connects the dots. I don't think it's a coincidence that the knight is kidnapping all the Undertale characters.
Yeah.
Like, he tries to kidnap Toriel, he definitely kidnaps Undyne. Why hold on to Undyne? You could just knock her unconscious and leave her be, but he's taken Undyne somewhere. I don't know why. But why try to take Toriel? Why try to take Undyne? He's going after Undertale characters. That seems like a connection to the original game, that the knight knows about something that we don't. But I might be wrong. Again, this is all theorizing stuff. We're just saying things, okay? Just saying things.
Another big clue that connects those two games together is in Undertale, when you go through, like, what's it called, little cabinet that has some of Sans things in there, you get a picture. Yeah. And the picture features 3 people. And there's a note on the picture that says, "Don't forget." And one of the phrases in Deltarune that's kind of like threaded through the whole game so far is "don't forget." So there's another connection there where people theorize that the 3 people in that picture in Undertale are Chris, Rossi, and Susie.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's another connection.
We get a lot more information regarding the prophecy and what exactly this journey to save the world is all about. We actually learn word for word what the prophecy is supposed to be, which leads to a moment where Susie shatters one of the pieces, gets rid of it. And it is a lot of heavy discussion that makes it seem as though Susie might be dying, might have to sacrifice herself in order to save the day. But then again, we don't see all of it.
No.
We don't actually get to read this phrase ourselves. For all we know, it could be her dying. It could be Noelle dying. We don't know particularly. We just know that there is something Rouse is super apologetic for and is just like, I'm sorry. That's the prophecy. I can't change it. And Susie's just like, whatever. We're just going to fucking change it anyway. It's not going to happen. So who cares? and she just moves on.
There's another theory that I'm airing towards where Susie might not even be in the prophecy.
Yeah.
When you're going through that whole, like, thing, like, where it's showing, like, the different, like, characters, and when you get to the person that's supposed to be, like, Susie holds an axe. This character in the prophecy does not hold an axe. It's supposed to be, like, a different, like, type of weapon. And the weapon is very similar to something that Noelle holds in the Snowgrave route. And so the prophecy might have been Noelle instead of Susie. Which is interesting because Susie's whole character so far, which is really dived into in chapter 4, is that she feels like she's not really important. She's not selected for anything. And she wants to find worth in herself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she feels like this prophecy that she's taking on is very important for her because for the first time it feels like that she's destined to do something good and that she doesn't have to be like archetyped into being like a bully or someone who's like misunderstood. But if it turns out that she's not in the prophecy, then it might fuck her up more.
What the fuck does
it just
that
feels
mean?
so sad. Yeah.
How the fuck did the prophecy change?
You were never in it.
Why didn't Chris partner up with Noelle? What the fuck?
Yeah. Because remember chapter 1, Chris came to school late. Like, they came to school, like, pretty late.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
It is also interesting that, like, you do meet a lot of the alternate universe versions of characters, but you never actually play as any of them except Noelle.
No.
Like, Noelle's the only one who's been playable in any capacity. You never play as Birdley. You never play as Gerson.
No.
So that is also kind of an interesting, like, you don't play as Lancer or any of those characters. So you always, it is kind of an interesting choice that, like, oh, I can play as Noelle. Okay. But she's not part of the main party. We don't get a terrible amount of differences in the Snowgrave route with chapters 3 and 4, except for, like, Noelle's house and everything that happens in that scene. And that's just like, again, it adds a lot of layers. If there's a lot of players who aren't going to want to do it because, one, they don't want to be evil. I know people who still have never done the genocide route of Undertale and haven't even touched it. They have watched it on YouTube because they just could not bring themselves to kill everybody or face the incredibly hard challenge of Hero Undyne and Sans Undertale.
Yeah.
Just call him Sans Undertale. But essentially, the evil route is that in chapter 2, you can take complete control over Noelle and have her freeze every single enemy in the game, which makes her stronger. And you give her, like, accessories that increase her power with ice. And it gets to the point where you use a spell called Snowgrave, which just incapacitates Birdley and fucking puts him into a coma.
Yep.
Like in real world.
Yep.
But the thing is, your character is acting very possessive, constantly saying, like, one-word phrases like, proceed, proceed, proceed. And Noelle is kind of losing her sense of identity. And she's kind of having an existential crisis about it because she's basically just doing whatever you say, just proceed. And she'll just fucking whatever. She'll just do what you say. Fuck, whatever.
Yeah.
But there's a scene in chapter 4 where you are ripped out of your body by Chris. This is the interesting thing about Deltarune. You're playing the soul inside Chris. You're playing the heart inside of Chris, but Chris is kind of their own character. And they have their own hidden backstory that we're not privy to yet. Like, we're getting bits and pieces of their childhood and whatever. I keep saying his. It's easier to say his just because I view the player character as me, and I know it's a non-binary character, they. So apologies if I keep saying his.
Yes, Chris is non-binary and uses they them pronouns.
Yeah. But essentially, like, Chris has a backstory, a childhood that we keep getting bits and pieces of with all the conversations of people in town. But the big reveal at the end of chapter 1 was that like Chris rips us out and rips their heart out, and all of a sudden they do shit independently and they're doing things by themselves, and we don't get to follow along because we're just a heart. You know, they leave out the bathroom window. We don't know what the fuck they're up to. We just have to wait until they put us back in the body. But chapter 4, like, big time revelations about like where he went when he left the bathroom, which was he went to see Noelle. And it's interesting that like Chris tries to be like, hey, I was acting really weird. I was being very possessive and strange, and I'm so sorry. That's not me. Forget all that. Which, you know, considering how Chris has been really evilly presented and how everything they do seems sinister and monstrous, it makes you wonder, like, well, why wouldn't Chris approve of what I've done? But then we can force ourselves back into Chris. We can sneakily enter his body again and resume the plans we initially started and put the thorn ring back on her to continue our whatever evil shit we've got cooked up. Because we're the player, we're the ones doing this. Okay. Nobody has to do this. And most players won't be doing it.
No.
And if they didn't have the internet to tell them about this Snowgrave route, they wouldn't even know this is happening. Also, there was that moment where, like, Noelle's innocence, as depicted by a rose, kind of, like, ripped apart.
Yeah.
And there was a bit of a controversy about that.
Yeah, I understand what, like, Toby Fox was trying to do there, or at least the creative decision that went into that. Like, part of that scene also gripped me too, because like it's really also a metaphor for like abusive relationships or emotionally manipulative like dynamics. And you just hear it in the music and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do the Snowgrave route. What am I doing? And so like afterwards, like you as the soul are beaten up very badly by Chris.
Chris kicks our ass.
Yes. And like they just can't believe, like, you, the player, would do that to Noelle. How dare you do this to Noelle? How dare you manipulate her in that way? I don't like you. I'm just gonna keep kicking you. And it's so gripping.
It's a scene that's, like, completely does not happen at all in the normal route.
No.
Like, when you're just playing the game normally, that never happens. But, like, there's a whole scene where he's just kicking the shit out of your heart, which is in a trash can, and he's just beating the fuck out of it in the bathroom. And I think it adds a lot of insight into Chris's character before we get to 5, 6, and 7 about how they feel being possessed by the player. And essentially, it's like their life is being taken over by the player in a way that's just like haunting and horrifying, you know?
Yeah.
And even when I think of it in terms of like the good route, I think there must be so many decisions we're making. What I feel about the story, I think this is going to come up in 5, 6, 7. I think Chris is in love with Noelle.
Yeah.
But we are doing everything in our power to make Susie get with Noelle.
I'm guilty of that. And
I feel like that's going to be a conflict of interest where Chris is eventually going to break from the control of the player and explain what the hell's going on. And I think they're going to be really pissed off that we fucked things up with Noelle.
But I like the Susie Noelle shit.
I know. And it's obvious that Noelle has a thing for Susie from chapter 1. Like from frame 1, she's into Susie. So we know that. You know, if Noelle wants Susie, it's not the worst thing in the world. But, you know, there's a history between these two. It's fucking strange. It's just an interesting position to be put in as a player, to essentially take over a person's life and now potentially be fucking it up, and they hate us for it.
Yeah.
But also they keep putting us back in their chest, so they need us for something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is also symbolized in one part in chapter 4 where you play the piano.
Yeah.
Because, like, you have to play piano in order to, like, open certain sections up. And, like, you can play, like, the certain pieces of music compositions that you find, but there's a moment where Chris has full control of the piano. You, the player, don't play this at all, and Chris plays this super, like, complicated, very complex piano piece.
Yeah.
And it's just so gripping at that point, because it's like, it's not you, it's Chris. They're the one playing the piano. It's like, for that one moment where they are creating art, they have agency over their own actions and not you, the player.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but the part in chapter 4 where the soul is in, like, the vent system in the house and you kind of just go around, there's a moment where you can see Chris in the kitchen and then they walk off screen, and then you can actually hear them play the piano for, like, 10 minutes if you just stay there up in the vent.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's fucking crazy.
It's on YouTube if you want to look it up.
Oh, YouTube will inform me of all the things I missed. In fact, that's how I had to find out about the proper super boss of chapter 3, because at first I thought the super boss was just that Zelda boss, because I did die on it quite a bit.
Yeah.
But instead of getting a shadow crystal, you get the shadow mantle. But I felt, well, it's still got shadow in the name. I must have done it right. That was the super boss. And then I got to the chapter 4 shop with the cat shopkeeper, and they were like, oh, you didn't bring a shadow crystal this time. Oh, well, you know, it's okay. You tried your best. And that's all that matters. And I'm like, wait, I missed it? I missed the super boss? Oh, shit. And it wasn't until I realized that, oh, wait, the knight was the super boss, and the shadow mantle is the only thing that gives you a chance to beat them. And I was like, oh. And the knight was a son of a bitch. Jesus.
Yeah. These attacks all hit hard. Fantastic boss music, though. It's probably my favorite boss music so far in the game. Oh,
it's fucking incredible. Mm-hmm. I love that you can beat the knight, and there is a scene for it. But it also just, like, shows the difference in the power of that character compared to yours. I still think the knight might be the hardest super boss thus far. And even Gerson, when I got to Gerson in chapter 4, I thought Gerson was way easier than the knight.
Yeah.
So I like that the knight feels like the knight, and all of the Titan monsters near the end. I felt like the difficulty really ramps up in Deltarune, where the things that are a threat, the things that are genuinely going to destroy the world, feel like they're the hardest things to fight in the game.
Yeah, and I expect that difficulty to go up, considering, like, technically we're now a little bit over halfway through the game.
Yeah.
So, like, all the Titan stuff at the end just felt like a perfect, like, halfway through boss, where, of course, it's going to be harder. The last boss in the main chapter took me, like, a couple tries to get right, just because I was trying to, like, recognize the pattern of, like, the fetus babies or whatever, you know, but...
No, for sure.
Yeah.
No, for sure. I was surprised how often my characters were dropping in, like, regular battles and stuff. I was like, oh, fuck. Like, I'm getting my ass kicked. I need to get to a save point, because, good lord, I am just getting my ass kicked. Mm-hmm. But I appreciate that. You know, the game's not just, like, holding your hand the whole way through. I did think chapter 2... I felt like Spamton was easier than Jevil.
Yeah, I'm with you, yeah.
So I just wondered if this was like a creative choice. Like, okay, maybe I'm going to tone it down a bit. But with the Knight and with a lot of stuff happening in 3 and 4, no, the difficulty is definitely ramping up.
Yeah.
And I'm all for it. This is a fun game to play.
Speaking of Spamton, like, he was a big part of Chapter 2. And it's not like Chapter 2 released in 2021 and Toby did nothing with, like, the Deltarune IP between then and when 3 and 4 released. There were little events that happened called the Spamton Sweepstakes in between 2021 and 2025, where there were just like little videos or stuff that you could interact with, live streams too. And like, when you look carefully at all of the content in all the Spamton Sweepstakes, like, material, eventually you're able to uncover, like, a music file, and the music file is called Find Her, and the song that plays in that music file is the same motif from Lost Girl in chapter 2, which is like Noelle's motif.
Like when she's giving their backstory?
Yeah, it's like do 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 do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're spelling out the December puzzle.
Yeah. So people think that Find Her, the title of the song, is like a theory to the night. And there's a very believable theory that the night is Des. And Des is Noelle's sibling. Because, like, the night has, like, pointed antlers. And the night also wields, like, a bat. And when you go into Des's room in chapter 4, guess what? Des also has, like, a bat.
Yeah.
And you don't see Des because Des is, like, missing. Where did Des go?
Yeah. And also, like, even if she died, even if her character had died, like, Gerson has been resurrected via the dark world. Like, his character was dead in the real world, and yet he is alive and well in the dark world as some kind of spirit that interacts with the party and stuff. So it's not like it's out of question or out of bounds that even if something did happen to Des, she's back in some form through the dark world to get revenge for something.
Yeah.
And yeah, I agree. It's like, it's either Des or it's the mom. I don't know if it's the mom, but the mom's definitely in on whatever the fuck's happening.
For sure.
She is definitely allied with the night because the way she talks to Chris, you know, especially also in the Snowgrave route. In the Snowgrave route, she's very accommodating to Chris, and the way the end message is different in the Snowgrave route.
Yeah.
Like, the phone call that Chris gets is a lot more like, Noelle can't wait to see you at the festival. You know. So it's definitely, I know for sure that the person Chris is talking to on the phone has to be the mother. Mm-hmm. Has to be. But is the knight the mother, or is the knight Des working for the mother, or in some capacity with the mother? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the deal is there. I just know that they're definitely the antagonists, and they're definitely the ones driving the plot somehow.
Even like the code for the bunker has to be related to like Christmas of sorts. Because like the digits that you find are just so similar to like what the date of Christmas is supposed to be. Considering like that whole family like is reindeer themed, and they have like Christmas and Santa decorations in their house. There's an even wilder theory that like, and I would really want this to happen because it would blow my mind, but people are like, okay, what if chapter 7 releases on Christmas Day? Like December 25th.
Oh God.
Yeah. That would blow my mind. He just shadow drops it on Christmas.
It's interesting just thinking about what exactly the story is trying to say and where it's going. The prophecy stuff definitely added a lot of twists to that thing. I like that Rousey is starting to become more of a person. I know it's because I always feel this weird thing with Rousey is that he's very supportive, and he's like a tutorial helper, and he's always doing the right thing for the cause of the adventure. But you always get like these moments that are like, in chapter 4, you go into the castle in the town, and he's built a room for himself. Oh, cool. What's in the room? Nothing. It's just empty. There's just like nothing in there. And he's just like, well, you bake cakes and stuff for the party, but you don't make the cakes for yourself. You don't eat your own food. You don't decorate your own room. Like, what do you live for exactly? How do you not have a life? How do you not have wants and needs and desires of your own, Rousey? What is that? Your whole existence is a selfless, live for others, get this adventure, save the world kind of thing, but you don't really have any wants for yourself. Why?
Which again, like, it goes back to the theme of fate and like controlling your destiny and stuff, because each of the 3 characters, like Chris, Rousey, and Susie, they're all like seem to be set on this path for something.
Yeah.
And it's like, can you break that? Can you break that destiny? Can you be your own person and have your own ideals? And whatever happens at the end of this game will probably answer that question.
which is perfect because the game starts saying that, like, in this world, you don't make any choices. Everything is predetermined. You don't get to make choices in this world, which we know is bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, even ignoring the Snowgrave stuff, even if we're just taking that statement at its word, at the end of chapter 1, if you save everybody, everyone in the castle helps you and defeats the Chaos King for you. They all like rush him and they grab him and throw him into prison. And you have this great epilogue where you get to say goodbye to everybody, just like in Undertale. Whereas if you defeat any one of them in a battle, Chaos King just gets tired and he loses his energy, and that's how he fails. So, like, and they do have like dialogue changes. They do have like certain things where like all of the people working for Antenna will definitely not want to take you on if you've been a pacifist, because they're just like, no, that kid's so nice.
Oh, yeah.
We don't want to do this anymore.
You free them all.
You recruit everybody and they join your castle town. It's great. Whereas if you're fucking fighting everybody, they're scared of you. They're scared of you, and they're just like, that kid terrifies the shit out of me. I don't want to go in there. And I just think that's interesting that, like, the theme is that you can't change fate. The idea is that you can't change fate, but we're seeing constantly that, no. Keep at it. Keep sticking to your ideals. You'll make a difference. Things are going to be different. And I wouldn't be surprised if chapter 7 just goes in like completely different directions based on how you've been playing the game.
Yeah. This will become one of my favorite games ever. It already is, but like, once you have the complete package, it will be one of my favorite games of all time. Like top 5. We speak in top 5. Toby Fox had a vision for Deltarune because he dreamed the ending in 2011, and that compelled him enough to make this game. So I'm so curious as to what he dreamed about.
Yeah.
That made him create this game in this universe.
What out-of-pocket, completely different scenario that we've never seen in games before is this going to become?
Yeah.
I think the town is definitely going to get fucked over.
Oh, yeah,
I think,
100%.
I think in chapter 5, that town's getting fucked. I think whatever is going to happen in chapter 5, and then 6 and 7 are going to be dealing with the fallout. Like fucking Final Fantasy 6 style.
Yeah. Ralsei's like, I'm back from college. Oh, fuck. Where is everything?
Also interesting connection that, like, is Azrael even going to look like Ralsei when he shows up?
Very true. We will have to see.
Indubitably. And is there a connection between Azrael and Ralsei? Is there something about that? I don't know. Wouldn't it be fucked up if Susie doesn't see Ralsei the way we see Ralsei?
Dang. Yeah.
Like, what if she sees a completely different person and not a goat boy?
That would be kind of weird.
We're just spitballing now. Anything could happen. We don't know.
All I know is that the next chapter is definitely incorporating the festival. So with all the townspeople there, it's a perfect time to like have shit hit the fan and just have everyone be involved.
Also, another thing I noticed that was pointed out to me by other people was that, like, we are going backwards through Undertale in terms of like game mechanics. We start in a castle. We get to an electric core type of place where you get to play as the Yellow Heart and shoot things.
Yeah.
We go to a game show contestant wacky scenario. Then we go to a darker, more melancholy place where you get to play with the Green Heart, which was the Undyne battle. I wouldn't be surprised if we finally get to see Papyrus at the festival.
True.
And then we get the Blue Heart. And we get to jump over stuff again.
Whee!
Woo! What was our crazy ass theory that, like, chapter 7, we're just gonna, like, they're gonna get into the bunker, and then the bunker is just gonna be Undertale?
It's just the beginning of Undertale when you fall in the room.
Because I agree that the bunker could easily just be like, oh, kids kept falling into Mount Ebbet. They kept falling into that hole and ending up in the underground, so we put a fucking bunker over it. We just put a little bunker over the hole there. It's a game, if it came out 20 years ago, I would have loved it then. I still love it now. It is the magic of video games that I have always loved. The soundtrack goes all over the places. Sometimes it sounds like Phoenix Wright. Sometimes it sounds like Power Rangers for the Super Nintendo. It's fucking an amazing score. I'm never going to forget that music. I love Deltarune. It's awesome. And everyone should play it. Everyone should play it. Don't just wait till Chapter 7 comes out. Play it now. Come on.
Yeah, because there's something about like playing this game as the chapters release that's just so satisfying.
It's like the difference between like a Netflix show releasing all at once and releasing week by week is that like at least when it releases week by week, we get to distance ourselves from it and like anticipate the sequel, think about the plot and think about, well, where is this going? What's the connection? Oh my God, how is this going to happen? Da, 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 da. Whereas streaming, you just kind of like, you go through it in an evening and it doesn't really retain stuff in your head very well when you're just like flowing through it all at once, you know?
Yeah, there's just so many TV shows now where they'll release everything at once and then you just watch it all. And, you know, Clement, I can easily like binge through things.
Yeah.
But I honestly prefer just having the episodes come out week by week. Just as an example, I binged the entirety of Better Call Saul in like 2 weeks. Which don't ask me how I did that. I just did.
Oh my God.
But I honestly wish that I had the experience of watching it week by week because there's just so many clues and cinematography that's beautiful. And like, had I watched the last season as it aired, I would have been so excited for like Sunday or whatever day of the week it came on for a new episode. Like, yeah, let's go. Let's go.
There's this moment in Better Call Saul. I don't think this is a spoiler, but there's this moment in Better Call Saul where we catch up to the Breaking Bad timeline. And I was so fucking anxious, not anxious, but just excited. Just like, oh my God, I can't wait for the next episode. Where is this going? Yeah. And also it's a frame story. So like when finally catching up to the Gene part and I'm like, oh my God. Deltarune's amazing. Go play it.
Woo! Look at that. We talked a good bit about Deltarune. It might have been half this podcast.
Yeah.
Might have been half this podcast.
It's the main event. It's the main event, baby!
Our next episode will probably be a little beefy because Clement and I are heading to Toronto to do a number of different things. There's actually a good amount of things going on in Toronto.
I promise that the next C-Squared episode won't be as long of a wait as the last episode. It's just been a crazy year. I think everyone knows it's been a crazy year.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get back into the swing of things and everything's cooking up. Everything's cooking up. I like it.
Yeah. 100%.
So yeah. I am the Great Clement.
And I am Caro, as always.
And we shall see you the next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.